Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End. It is February the 12th, and I think we need to take. I should have a cap, but I can't doff my cap. For all 90s kids, flags at half staff, all 90s kids. Look, Street Fighter the movie was possibly the most cheesy and ridiculous movie that was ever produced, and did in fact include Jean-Claude Van Damme. And let's see, I think it was Raul. Oh gosh, his name is escaping me, but the guy Gomez from Adam's Family, his final movie. His name is escaping me. I know he's a very famous actor, and I'm embarrassed. I did remember John Claude Van Damme, but our first story. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, all discombobulated in my temporary room. Thank you, Wolfram, for doing your Modly Mod stuff. Thank you, Christine, for always being here in the morning. Good morning, Chair Bear, and Alice G, Tammy CA, Denise Sells, Audio Coffee, Colorado Mountain Girl, Carol Sue Scott, good morning. So, if you were a 90s kid and you played with your siblings in the backyard pretending you were Street Fighter, this is a sad day. Street Fighter star Peter Navy Tua So Po, and yes, I had to slow that down so I wouldn't hopefully mess up his name, has passed away at the age of 61. Now, he was also on NCIS and other things, but I'll always remember him as, being, or what was it, K Honda? Look, I remember him in Street Fighter. I don't remember the names because I was always the girl characters. Doy. Veteran TV and film actor Peter Navy Tuiasosopo has passed away. The star, known for his work on Street Fighter, NCIS, Fast and Furious, and more, passed away on Monday morning at the age of 61. His son, Manoa Peter, announced the sad news on social media. With a heavy heart, my family and I want to thank everyone for their thoughts and prayers. Our father, Peter N. Tuiasosopo, passed away at this morning at 3 a.m. He wrote on a Facebook post on Monday, February the 10th. Manoa continued by sharing that his father is no longer in pain. My dad lived an amazing life, and in no way does his impact stop here. We will continue to live with him in his spirit, and as saddened as we are, he is without doubt in heaven with his brothers, sisters, parents, daughters, and Jesus, no longer in pain. His strength, love, compassion, and kindness will forever be felt. He revealed that a celebration of life will be announced once the family has organized the details. We thank you all again for your thoughts and prayers and ask for your continued support through this tough and emotional time, Manoa continued, adding that, Peter's wife, children, and grandchildren were touched in the announcement. While he did not disclose his father's cause of death in the post, the actor's son told TMZ that he had passed away from heart complications in Phoenix, Arizona. Manoa also noted that Peter was a trailblazer for Polynesian actors in Hollywood. He started his acting career in Hollywood over 3 decades ago, starring alongside Scott Bakula, Rob Schneider, Jason Bateman, and more in the 1991 football film Necessary Roughness as Manamanama the Slender. I'm probably mispronouncing that wrong. Okay, I am mispronouncing that. He went on to act in over 40 projects, including Fast and Furious, Charlie's Angels, The Scorpion King, BASEketball, Austin Powers Goldmember, to name a few. However, perhaps he is most famously known for his role in the 1994 flick Street Fighter, featuring a slew of stars like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Kylie Minogue, Ming Na Wen, and Raul Julia. Raul Julia was the name I was looking for. I believe that Street Fighter was his final film. Maybe not the best film to go out on, but it did star Jean-Claude Van Damme, so there you go. He also went on to become one of the most recognizable Polynesian actors in the industry, appearing on popular television series like NCIS, Ray Donovan, Blackish, Magnum PI, The Reboot, Mayans MC, and New Girl. Before going into showbiz, he had a rocky career in the NFL. He signed on to the now defunct St. Louis Cardinals as a free agent in 1987. However, he was waived shortly after. Just 1 month later, he joined the Los Angeles Rams replacement team and was released. He was re-signed by the Rams in 1988 and 1989, but was released both times before the start of the NFL season. So I'm glad that he was surrounded by family and friends. Now I really want to go back and watch Street Fighter, even though it is pure 90s cringe-hilarious cheese. It is pure, ham-tastic kitschiness, but now I definitely want to go back and watch it. In good news, wrongfully detained U.S. teacher Mark Fogel calls Trump a hero during a White House meeting after the release from the Russian prison he was detained in. So again, I can't imagine the feeling of finally stepping on American soil after being detained in Russia for so long. So, Pennsylvania teacher Mark Fogel called President Trump a hero Tuesday in his first remarks since the commander in chief's administration secured his release from a Russian prison. Now, I want you to know that I'm not the hero in this at all. President Trump is the hero, Fogel said after meeting Trump in the White House. Now, these men that came from the diplomatic service are heroes, Fogel continued. The senators and representatives that passed legislation in my honor to get me home are heroes, and I'm in awe of what they did. Now, Trump greeted Fogel outside the White House on the snowy night in Washington just hours after his administration negotiated a deal to free the wrongfully detained American. House Speaker Mike Johnson, Senator David McCormick, and Representative Brian Mass were all there, lined up to shake the hand of, Mr. Fogel. Fogel had been wrongfully detained for the last 3.5 years in Russia after being arrested with what he claimed was legally prescribed devil's lettuce. I think if we have learned anything, Americans, from the last several years, do not take the devil's lettuce to Russia. They don't like it, okay? They're not playing, okay? Don't take marijuana anywhere, all right? This is not California. Now, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz announced earlier in the day that the president, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and other Trump advisors had successfully negotiated an exchange for Fogel that serves as a show of good faith from the Russians and a sign that we're moving in the right direction to end the brutal and terrible war in Ukraine. Now, this gets into more political stuff. This isn't that channel. I did want to highlight that he is home after 4 years, and I am sure he and his family are great. I do hope he has someone to talk to because I can imagine the stress and the trauma of this entire situation, uh, you know, would be something that would be incredibly difficult to process, even if you're home. I can't imagine, just the psychological baggage that he's going to have. That being said, I hope he has a Big Mac or, a good burger and then, takes time to process all of this. Well, if you wanted to know, and y'all know I wanted to know, what is it that spiked a touchdown on the hub during the big old sports ball game? For those of us who don't do sports ball, apparently this was our other hobby on Sunday. So I just figured we'd see what would spike. So the hub searches that spiked during Super Bowl 2025, and here's what made some football fans or not football fans in the mood. I love these stories. The Eagles aren't the only one focused on going deep. Oh my God, New York Times, did we just become best friends? Or, you're not the New York Times, you're the New York Post. I'm so sorry. Are we still best friends? An eye-popping 126 million Americans turned into the Super Bowl on Sunday night. But the rest of us decided to enjoy something that was more hub-related, apparently. Exclusive data shared by The Hub shows that searches for football themed videos surged on the platform. How does one do a football themed prawn? I mean, is it like cheerleaders and football players? Because it does look like they're doing the bend and snap on the little huggle thing or whatever they're doing on the field. It does kind of look like they're in the perfect position for a bend and snap, but I'm pretty sure that's not the bend and snap that the hub is. Anywho, I don't know how one makes. Look, I do you have the little chain guys on the sidelines for football related prawn? Like, and he's got it. He's in. A ref. Bad play. Bad play. Get him some Gatorade. He needs some electrolytes. Just oh my god. I can't. All right, the X-rated website told the Post that searches for the term Super Bowl jumped a whopping 8,032%, while American football player increased 4,108%, and football player gives himself a hand hug shot up 3,931%. There you go. Hung Jock saw a sizable 1,284, increase in its search, while the phrase locker room boner grew 240%. I am saving this article for Shizzy. I am. You guys remind me to pin this, and I just did. We are saving this story for Shizzy. Meanwhile, some prawn-perusing people were aroused by the sights on the sidelines with an interest in cheerleader-related content also taking over the hub. Hot cheerleader was up 734%, thick cheerleader expanded 593%, and cheerleader, well, just fun with the entire team, rocketed up 380%. Well, three cheerleaders also saw a significant search increase of 180%. While Super Bowl inspired searches increased overall, the data shows that the hub experienced a significant decline in traffic at the start of the event. In the Eagles' home state of Pennsylvania, traffic was down 43% as excited locals switched from not safe for work fare to the NFL. But in the wake of the team's divisive victory, ecstatic Keystone State viewers decided to celebrate with some steamy scenes. By 1 a.m., traffic was 13% higher than it usually is for that time of night in the land of cheesesteaks and chip-chopped ham sandwiches. Chip-chopped ham sandwiches? Ew. In Missouri, meanwhile, the visits only dipped 24% during the game. Perhaps the Show Me State sustained interest in Smex can be attributed to the facts that the Chiefs won both the 2023 and the 2020, no, it says 2023 for both of the Super Bowls. I know that's wrong because never mind. Anywho, apparently if you win the Super Bowl, you get bored and you need to go to the hub. However, amorous Americans across the country appeared to put a pause on the prawn to take in Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. Based on a per-minute page view data review, U.S. traffic hit its lowest point at 8:01 p.m., dropping 68% just before the halftime show began. Now, the hub is described the plunge as one of the largest momentary declines our statisticians have ever recorded during a live sporting event. So there you go. Kendrick Lamar will get people off of the hubs. There we go. We figured out a way to bring people back to Jeebus. Kendrick Lamar. And if I knew who that was, I would be impressed. In goodest boy news, and not actually about, Nancy Mace, but We have a new goodest boy has been crowned. Monty, the giant schnauzer, has won Best in Show at the 149th Westminster Dog Show. So there you go. He looks like a goodish boy. Probably doesn't get into trash cans. It was puppy pandemonium at Madison Square Garden on Tuesday night during the 149th annual Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show final, where the coveted Best in Show was crowned. This year's competition was loaded with 7 highly presentable pups representing their breed groups, all putting their best paw forward in the historic competition, but only one dog can be the top dog, and this year it is Monty the Giant Schnauzer. Now, this is Monty's third time in a row representing the working group. The stunning, strong bearded black dog hails from New Jersey. Oh, he's a good, and he's smiling. Look, he's smiling for the camera. All right. Monty for president. I give up my run. Monty's owner and handler, Katie Bernharden, held back tears while being interviewed at the podium. He always tries so hard, and I'm just so proud of him, Bernharden said. Puppy did the damn thing, and I'm proud of him. Tuesday marked the first win for the working group since 2004, ending the longest drought for any group in the famed competition. Runner-up for the third time was Bourbon the Whippet, representing the Hound Group, taking second, her third time as runner-up in the competition. And the 9.5-year-old came out of retirement just days before Barks went live at MSG this week. Since her last official strut, Bourbon mothered a litter of puppies. Well, she's a working mom now. And no one puts Bourbon in the corner. They put it in the glass. Other finalists included crowd favorite Neil the Bichon Frise, representing the non-sporting group, Mercedes the German Shepherd from the herding group, Comet the Shih Tzu from the toy group, surprise winner Archie the Skye Terrier representing the terrier group, and Freddie the English Springer Spaniel representing the sporting group. The finals were overseen by Judge Paula Nickel, who said that picking the best of the best is a wonderful but difficult responsibility. This was her 9th year judging assessment at Westminster, and the veteran judge won Judge of the Year in 2023. Tuesday night's show was a triumphant return of the Westminster Kennel Dog show to Madison Square Garden since it was relocated out of the city after the coup. Well, yep. So, I mean, I love doggos. Look, Fry would have been an absolute S show. I am not going to lie. Fry would have been one of the people of Walmart dogs. He would not have been best in show, but I love him still because he was mine. Safety notice, and, just for your safety, you've probably already heard this on your local news. And if you're coming to me for safety tips, this is a terrible idea. I'm just going to give you that just blanket advice. Canned tuna sold at Costco, Trader Joe's, recalled over botulism concerns, what to know about the potentially fatal bacteria and other foodborne illnesses. Now, I do believe that this has also grown to include Walmart, but I will double check that. Some canned tuna has been linked to botulism concerns, with major grocers including Costco, Trader Joe's, and Walmart pulling items from their shelves. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration announced Monday Tri-Union Seafoods is recalling select products from Genova, Von Kamps, HEB. So do you call it the HIB or do you call it HEB or HEB? Look, I don't know. Trader Joe's brands due to a defect that could in the Easy Open pull tab lids. Now, this manufacturing issue could lead to breakage or leakage, or for the product to become contaminated with botulism, a fatally potential bacteria that results in food poisoning. Now, no illnesses have been reported to date, and customers are advised not to use the affected products, even if they appear normal, and to seek medical attention if they are not feeling well. Now, the HEB label in Texas, Trader Joe in Delaware, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Wisconsin. So if you got tuna from, Trader Joe's in any of those states, I would go ahead safe, not sorry. Okay, so it's the HEB. I was wondering because y'all know I already get in trouble from Baker for adding the and S's at the end of things. So now the Genova 7 ounce and 5 ounce, those were in Costco in Florida and Georgia. And then the 5 ounce is at Harris Teeter, Publix, HEB, Kroger, Safeway, Walmart, and other independent retailers in Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, New Jersey, Tennessee, and Texas. The Von Kamp's label were at Walmart and independent retailers in Pennsylvania, Florida, and New Jersey. Now, the recalled products also have specific can codes as well as a best used by date. You can look them up. So just, be careful, be safe. What every once in a while, go ahead and throw away those cans that Aunt Edith gave you from 1945. I know she told you that because they're cans, they'll be fine, but no, just let them go. Let them go. Don't let them hold you back anymore. Go full frozen on those, expired cans. Now, what in the Tim Yu, Chris Watts, woman with scary. This woman has resting, I'ma stab you face. Like, that's not even resting bee face. She is literally thinking about where to put the, stabulator in you. And she's going to enjoy it. Howardy butt. No, I'm going to call it Hebe. I'm going to be super, super Yankee and go to Texas and be like, do y'all go to the Hebe? Look, gentlemen, I I don't want to, again, lose my female card by giving you too much, secret information from the meetings that we have where we all discuss your imminent demise. But if you see a lady with this face, run, run. She's going to hurt you and she's going to enjoy it. I mean, seriously, y'all, this face is resting homicide face. The co-defendant of former MLB player has admitted her role in the deadly shooting of the baseball player's in-laws in their California home. I mean, you know what? Okay, you know what? I take that back. If he was looking for a ride or die, this chick is a ride or die because she doesn't care if she ends up in orange too. She's just like, what you need, baby. I mean, she's going to be sitting in orange and she's probably going to turn on you, but I mean, she is ride or die until them cuffs go on. Samantha Maria Scott, 34, pled guilty on February 6th to a charge of being an accessory to a felony in the shootings of Robert Gay Spoor, 70, and Wendy Louise Wood, 68. Scott's co-defendant, former MLB pitcher Daniel Danny Joseph Serafini, 51, is set for trial in the case in March. Now, Robert Spoor was the father of Aaron Spoor, Serafini's wife. Scott was reportedly a friend of Aaron Spoor's and the family's former nanny. Well, does she have the voice too? I mean, if she's going to be the nanny, she has to have the voice. Oh, Spoor. Well, look, they spell it weird and they don't put, you know what? Spelling is just a trick to confuse me. Thank you so much, though, JKD Bug. Oh my gosh, I would totally go to that store. I don't know what would be in it, but I would go in just to because I saw the sign and I thought it was funny. Spoor was found fatally shot on June 5th, 2021 at his Lake Tahoe area residence. Now, deputies found him dead from a single gunshot wound. His wife had also been shot but was taken to the hospital where she recovered from her injuries. Oh, Oh, this is her. You absolute douche canoes. She unfortunately took her own life later that year. Probably because she didn't want to be without her husband. You absolute just butt monkeys. Try not to curse, at least at first, because, you know, trying to be goodish. After the initial shooting incident, the Placer County Sheriff's Office shared 2 videos of a hooded man wearing a face covering and a backpack walking to a residence several hours before the homicide occurred, Law and Crime reported. Now, one of the videos showed a man with a backpack outside the Spore's residence, and a second added footage of the suspect walking on a sidewalk by the water. Information and evidence detectives gathered led them to the identity of Serafini and Scott as the suspects. Both suspects are known to each other and to the victims, authorities said. Now, Serafini and Scott, who was described as a close friend of Serafini's wife, were eventually arrested. Serafini made a name for himself as an MLB pitcher, but after his professional career ended, his apparent financial woes began. The former bar owner appeared with his wife on the show Bar Rescue. One episode, Take Me Out of Here to the Bar Game, which aired in 2015, began with a story of how Serafini's $14 million worth of earnings from his playing career had dwindled after a series of bad investments and a bitter divorce, a situation only made worse by the nosedive in the success of what was then known as the Bullpen in Aspen Glen, located in Sparks, Nevada. On the episode, Erin Spore is heard commenting about how she noticed a change in Serafini personally and missed her own old husband, as the failing bar left him $300,000 in debt and in danger of losing his parents' home. My parents were so proud of me at one time for being successful as a ball player, and now I'm thinking what a disappointment I am to everyone. Danny Serafini is also heard saying on the episode, his voice quavering. After the bar's makeover, the establishment was renamed Oaken Tavern and has since closed. In a 2016 tweet from Oaken Tavern's account on X, it claimed that the show screwed the pooch the big time. Now, Adrienne Spore, Erin Spore's sister and the daughter of Robert Spore and Wendy Wood, filed a wrongful death lawsuit in June 2023 against the defendants and her sister. In the lawsuit, Adrienne Spore accused them of malicious, despicable, cruel, and unjust conduct, making them liable for damages after the senseless murder of Robert Gary Spore and the eventual death of Wood. My parents had been incredibly generous to Daniel Serafini and Erin Spore throughout their marriage, she said. Despite being pressed for my opinion, I cannot comment on my sister's level of involvement at this time. In a countersuit, Erin Spore, who has not been charged in the murder, alleges that her sister manipulated their mother to cut her out of the inheritance. Well, this sounds like a bunch of people who would be fun to have over at Thanksgiving. You cut me out of the will. Well, Mama never liked you. Well, your husband unalived Daddy. I mean, this is going to be, a great Thanksgiving, and if possible, I would like my invite. Now, I will add nothing to the situation myself, but I will have popcorn and adult beverage, and feel free to just conversate exactly however you want to be. I am not here. Now, I might add helpful things like, oh snap, damn, someone get the aloe, that's got to burn. But other than that, I will just eat and be quiet. I'm not going to add nothing. I'm not going to get in the middle of nothing. Y'all just fight. I just popcorn. If y'all got like some pumpkin pie. I am too much into other people's drama. Like my drama, absolutely not. Everyone else's drama, can I pull up a chair? I'd like to sit down, thank you. I'm real comfortable. I came outside for this. Like my own family stuff, like, it's going to be raining. Other people's drama, I am vacuuming outside. Oh, thank you. I saw that, Jedi Jess. I was going to thank you for it because my computer is smart and it pops up thing on Windows. Look, it uses magic. I don't know. I don't know about computers. In a badass move by a 13-year-old girl, scribbling "Help me" led to her kidnapper now having a 35-year prison term. Absolute, kick-ass, brave girl right here. And snaps, because she had to be scared out of her mind. A Texas man was sentenced to 35 years in federal prison for kidnapping a 13-year-old girl in San Antonio, driving her to California, and threatening with her with a firearm while SA. Oh, hell no. Would all Lord Chippy attendants please come up? Would all Lord Chippy attendants please come up? The power crew and safety crew, make sure you have your helmets because Lord Chippy is needed. Oh, hell no. Lord Chippy attendants, it is your draw. Slow, super slow, with hot pepper and chili oil. Y'all are the best at your job. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not like most bosses. I'm going to let y'all just figure out whatever y'all want to do. Y'all are the leaders. Y'all know how to work Mr. or Lord Chippy. Now, her rescue from her captor, now 63, took place on July 9th, 2023, outside a laundromat on East 10th Street in Long Beach. The girl scrawled the words, "Help me," in a red pen on a ripped piece of paper as she sat in a silver Nissan Sentra. Okay, again, if you are going to make car names, do not confuse easily distracted and unpossible spellers like me, because that doesn't look like Sentra. That looks like, anywho. You know what? Y'all are the artists. I just send you clients, but you make them a masterpiece. So I'm gonna let y'all just do what you do. So she was in the Nissan Sentra, according to U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California. Someone passing saw the plea for help and called the police, officials said. When officers arrived, she mouthed the word help and they removed her from the car. Stephen Robert Sablan, and they always have three names, of Clyburn, Texas, pled guilty in January 2024 to kidnapping. He has been in federal custody since the incident. Authorities said, and he was also ordered to pay $1,158 in restitution. I've spent that much on wigs. Are you kidding me? Like, for the terror, for the horror that he inflicted on this girl, not even $2,000? Our system is screwed. And welcome, Shizzy Raiders. The 35-year sentence imposed ensures that this defendant will not have an opportunity to victimize children, the acting U.S. Attorney Joseph T. McNally said in a news release. There's nothing as important as protecting our young people. I commend our federal and local law enforcement partners for their efforts to secure justice here. Sablan said that he abducted the victim, who told him that she was 13 years old, in San Antonio and drove her to Long Beach, using a firearm to keep her under control, according to the release. The girl was SA'd during the journey to California. This man violently abducted a child, repeatedly SA'd her while driving her thousands of miles from home, prosecutors said in a sentencing memorandum. And while Sablan spent days abusing her for his own desires, her parents agonized over their missing child, feared the worst that was not far from reality. Yeah, I don't care what y'all do. Do something with him. Just get him out of my sight. Get him out of my sight right now, or we just not gonna like the consequences. Oh no. But sweetheart, 13-year-old, you are not you should not be watching this show. It's a little too, newsy, and I use terms that are inappropriate, not to mention that whole hub thing was not good. But 13-year-old sweetheart, if you happen to run across this video one day in your wanderings on the interwebs, I want you to know from a mama bear, you are brave, and you are so brave. And I hope you take your power back. And I hope that, you get through this and you have the love and support, but you're not broken. Everything he did was on him, and you got yourself out, and that's important. So the best revenge will be living a happy, fulfilled life, and this guy gets no attention ever again. You're the real story here. Any hoozle, if you happen to, pass it by, I just wanted to leave you this note, like a message in a bottle, and yes, I love the police. And what in the medical fuckery, and I do mean that as a person who has had medical effery happen to her, what in the medical effery is going on here? They took my whole life. Woman lived with a feeding tube in her body for 35 years following a surgery, a lawsuit states. Oh, this is breaking my heart. I don't like seeing my elders cry, and just no. A Wisconsin woman has sued a hospital that performed a life-saving procedure on her, claiming the surgeons left a feeding tube inside her 35 years ago. Deborah Lowe, 60, said at a press conference covered by WITI, a local Fox affiliate, said that she was 25 years old in 1989 and she was pregnant with twins. The pregnancy had resulted in complications and she was hospitalized at Mount Sinai Medical Center in Milwaukee, now known as Aurora Sinai Medical Center. She was put on life support, including a feeding tube. 35 years later, during another surgical procedure, that feeding tube was allegedly still found inside her body. The lawsuit filed in Milwaukee on February 5th accused the hospital of medical negligence, breach of fiduciary duty, and emotional distress. It lists Mount Sinai Medical Center, 3 unnamed individuals identified as John Does, and the Injured Patients and Family Compensation Fund as defendants. Through tears, Lowe told several news outlets, at a press conference, since 1989, I couldn't do things. I had migraines, shortness of breath, my stomach constantly swelled. I was 25 years old. That's my whole life. Lowe, alongside her attorney, B. Ivory, oh, for love of all that it... Okay, if y'all don't know who B. Ivory Lamar is, I think everyone and their brother has covered this case, but it would be the Theodore Edgecombe case. B. Ivory Lamar, this is actually more of his milieu. To be fair, he might be a very good, medical claims attorney. This is sort of what he does, medical accidents, medical insurance issues. But he tried to be a criminal lawyer, and Judge Borowski about wanted to bop his head. In fact, we might do a Friday Theodore Edgecombe just Diet Coke shenanigan stream because, oh my goodness, these cases, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It is very easy for me to disassociate, the cases and kind of just stay in the moment and think of the next snarky thing. But yesterday when they showed little Evelyn's picture from the babysitter, you have these moments in these hard trials where it really just kind of hits you again what we are sitting through. And it was rough for me. So we might do a Theodore Edgecombe, just answer the daggone question, shenanigans stream on Friday, after hanging out with Shizzy, because as much as I'm dedicated to getting this trial done, in a reasonable amount of time, maybe Friday will just be a safe day for us to have fun because goodness. Now, after I've gone on this long tangent about B. Ivory Lamar and random fluff, I'll get back to the, article. Now, as I said before, though, B. Ivory Lamar, this is kind of his milieu, so he might actually be a good lawyer, a good advocate for this woman, and I hope he is, because this sounds like, something that has affected her entire life. And I know little snippets of pain of doctors not listening to me, but I can't imagine finding out that they left her with a feeding tube in her and it could have been, incredibly dangerous. So they elaborated on the procedure that allegedly changed her life for the worse. The pregnancy ended with an emergency C-section and early delivery for her twins. When she experienced complications, she endured an emergency total hysterectomy, leaving her unable to have more children. Lowe was left on life support for 2 months. She said, "They took my whole life. I was only 25 years old and I couldn't have any more kids. Now I'm still going through things. I can't do things like I used to." When Lowe was finally taken off of life support, the doctors allegedly left the feeding tube inside her, the lawsuit claims. And allegedly because of that, she continued to have painful symptoms for the next 3 decades and beyond. She underwent additional procedures and saw multiple doctors trying to deal with the pain. It wasn't until April 2024, when she was having yet another operation, that the feeding tube was discovered. At the press conference, Lamar called the case the most outrageous alleged neglect that he's ever seen before. Now, Aurora Sinai Medical Center told WITI in a statement that, of course, they can't comment further because it's under investigation. And absolutely, Celestial Force, it's a hard lesson to learn, but you do have to be your own advocate, and you can fire doctors. If if these if the doctor isn't a good fit for you, then find another doctor. I used to be the most compliant, like wouldn't, ask for any other doctor. I have changed pain doctors 5 times. Uh, you know, some were because they couldn't help me anymore, but some because I just wasn't a good fit or they weren't a good fit for me. And when you're dealing with complicated medical stuff, you have to have someone you feel like is on your side and gets your language. You can speak to them and they can receive it, and they can speak to you and you can receive it. Because a lot of doctors I didn't feel that with. In another Badass of the Year award, a wild footage shows Chattanooga nightclub security guard fearlessly fire back at a, bad guy who shot into a crowd to keep not gun goer, for the love of all that is holy, club goers safe. I was like, don't say the word gun, don't say the word gun. And then I was like, as per usual. Explosive video captured the moment that a Tennessee security guard unloaded it looks like a sporting rifle. I'm not going to call it an assault rifle because that's dumb. At a bad guy who tried to fire into a nightclub crowd, leaving the shooter wounded and keeping all the club goers safe. Now, the shootout went down just around 2 a.m. on January 22nd, 26th, in the parking lot of Dream in Chattanooga, when the gunman ran up to the crowd lingering outside the club and began blasting with a force multiplier. Now, a club security guard who appeared to be wearing body armor then calmly raised his sporting rifle and returned fire, shooting off what appeared to be 24 shots in a matter of moments. Well, someone went Rambo. Now, the guard paused shooting for a few moments and then, after tracking his target, began firing more. This man can be on my security detail. Hello? I would be on. See these convenient people on the floor hiding and cowering? Yeah, that's me. That's me. I am not. Now, you guys won't be able to hear sound because I have Brave, but we will be. Oh, you know what? Having thought about this with my content creator hat on, YouTube is probably going to be mad. And even though, CNN and ABC and even MSNBC can show this, I'm going to be, accused of promoting violence. So you all can see this if you guys want. Let's see. Behind him, clubbers could be seen cowering on the ground or scattering for cover in the footage. Club owner Jamichael Smith confirmed that the guard worked for him and commended his response to the shooting, telling Local News 3 that the employee did what was needed to protect customers. Now, the person who sparked the shooting was identified as a 24-year-old man who was arrested after he turned up at the hospital with non-threatening wounds. It remains unclear whether the security guard could face any charges, but it's just the latest shooting to happen at Dream in the recent months. A 22-year-old was left injured after gunfire broke out inside the bar on December 1st when 2 customers got into a fight. That shooting left the bar with a 5-day alcohol service suspension that was issued just days ago, WDEF reported. Now, Chattanooga has also had a spate of nightlife shootings in recent years. In 2023, 1 man was killed in an attack outside a bar. In the year before that, in June 2022, 3 people were killed and 14 were injured in an early morning shootout outside another nightclub, Knox News reported. Just days earlier, six teenagers were injured in a shootout on the streets of downtown Chattanooga. Well, pray for Chattanooga. Good Lord, y'all are having a moment here. In nerd news, Stradivarius violin, crafted at the pinnacle of the maker's career over 300 years ago, sells for an eye-popping price. Now, violin fiddle music, depending on, what kind of, can sound lovely. I am not going to lie. There are beautiful, string instrument pieces that I love to listen to. The problem is as a parent, what I have most recently been exposed to is middle school orchestra. Now, whoever had the idea to give a bunch of middle schoolers stringed instruments that make noises that would terrify even the deaf is the same a-hole that I believe gave people plastic recorders for fourth graders. Change my mind. A Stradivarius violin made at the pinnacle of Antonio Stradivarius's career sold at auction for an eye-popping price this week. The musical instrument, crafted in 1714 by Stradivari, the luthier, is the most famously associated with that violin, sold for $11.3 million at Sotheby's in New York Friday. Now, the violin, known as Johann Mack Stradivarius, just the tongue twister. There you go. It's the impossible Mo phrase. Johann Mack Stradivarius was made during Stradivarius's golden period. God, can you imagine if you marked out some of your years as your golden period? Like, this is when I was screwing up really good in my 20s. It was my golden period of 20s screw up. And this was my golden period of teenage cynicism. I made some gems. I listened to angry girl music. Not that anyone's going to buy my stuff from my golden periods, but there you go. When he was at the height of his acoustic mastery of the instrument, Sotheby said, this extraordinary violin represents the pinnacle of craftsmanship and classical music history. Its unparalleled sound and storied provenance captivating collectors and musicians alike. Marie Claudia Jimenez, chair at Sotheby, said, the Johann Mack Stradivarius garnered global attention, achieving one of the highest prices for a musical instrument, an acknowledgement of its rarity and historical importance. Now, I need to look something up because I have heard about something. All right. Now, okay, so I have heard this and I didn't think it was true, but apparently, and we are going on a full ass tangent because you know me and squirrel. But I have heard about something called catgut strings made for very expensive violins. Now, I'm not going to show that picture, but it basically asked, are catgut strings for violins and wind or string instruments made out of cats? Now, no, they're not. Stradivarius made the butt whistle. You're gonna make me double inception a tangent by making me want to go look up the butt whistle again. You guys, this is a real thing. If you are having a baby, they do have a gas relief device that you insert into said baby's rear end to relieve the gas. I did show the baby butt whistle. I am not lying. It is a thing. I love that people come up and they're like, where do you find these things? And I'm like, join me on my travels at 3 a.m. to the weirdest shit on Amazon. So it looks like the term catgut is possibly a play on the word kitgut. Kit was an early 16th century English word for the fiddle. So it does look like they actually weren't made out of, any guts whatsoever except for intestinal string fiber, which, ew. Again, if who thought of using intestines? Like, who just thought, one day, you're like, what would make a real cool sound, Cletus? Well, what do you say, Earl? Well, I don't know. How about using intestines? Well, I don't know. I mean, sounds good. Why not? I mean, that's my real question about most things in history. Again, the conversation right before someone said, hey, you know what? I bet we could make a trebuchet. I don't know, but I always want to know the stories behind the things and how they came about. No, no. I tend to just write in funky decor and then I just start clicking on things. I might have to do an actual live stream of me just looking at stuff on Amazon and finding the weirdest things because, like I said, I always wanted to be Storm from the X-Men, but I think my mutant power is finding the most redonkulous things ever, ever, and then buying them. Now, again, I'm not sure that that's a superpower that Mr. Mo wants me to have, but that is what he got. Now, the Joachim Ma Stradivarius gets its name from two of the most famous owners, Joseph Joachim from Hungary, who lived in the 19th century, and Sin Hon Ma of China, whose estate donated the violin to the New England Conservatory in Boston after he died in Philadelphia in 2009. The conservatory plans to start a music scholarship fund with the proceeds, which would be nice. The sale is transformational for future students, and the proceeds will establish the largest named endowed scholarship in New England Conservatory history. Andrea Kalin, president of New England Conservatory, said, it has been an honor to have the Joachim Ma Stradivarius on campus, and we're eager to watch its legacy continue on the world stage. Now, Fox News Digital has reached out to Conservatory for future comment. The most expensive Stradivarius violin sold for 15.9 million in 2011. It's the odds are never in my favor that I'm going to find that when I clean out my parents' house. Like, oh, you guys, it's a Stradivarius. No, it's going to be like, oh my God, you guys, it's an original Billy Bass. I'm going to put it on the wall. Or Big Mouth Bass. That violin was known as Lady Blunt, and it was made in 1721. It also holds the record as the most expensive instrument ever sold, according to Voice of America. Now, Sotheby's had estimated that the Joachim Ma Stradivarius would go as high as 18 million, which would have set a new record. The Joachim Ma Stradivarius was also played during the premiere of composer Johannes Brahms' Violin Concerto in D major in 1879. The bidding was halted at $10 million dollars after 30 minutes, and the final price includes fees. Well, there you go. I mean, maybe that Billy Bass will be like worth everything, like the Princess Diana Beanie Baby that I'm keeping for retirement. Come on, she's got the tag on and the protector, and she's in the little acrylic case. Oh my God, did we lose our mind over Beanie Babies? We all need to sleep, need to, accept collective help and therapy for our Beanie Baby fad because people went nuts, and the Home Shopping Network trying to sell these like they were 401k replacements. Just the 90s were a beautiful, crazy, and insane time. And, bring back Beanie Babies is really all I have to say. Now, look, a lot of us have often felt in our family like we are the black sheep, like maybe we are the screw up. But I want us to take comfort in our heart that while we may have screwed up, we were never the Texas dentist caught huffing laughing gas while driving a car. So, if If your mother ever makes you feel bad, if your dad makes you feel like a screw up, just remember you're not this guy, okay? And send your parents a picture of this, this article and say, "Hey ma, at least I'm not huffing laughing gas while driving in Texas, okay?" A Texas dentist was caught huffing while driving with more than 100 canisters of laughing gas in his car. As you do. I mean, to be fair, to be on the freeway, I would need laughing gas. I got married, so I don't have to drive on the freeway, at least unless I am, forced by circumstances, God, and, well, just poor planning. A Houston area dentist is facing criminal charges after huffing nitrous oxide all day, then leading cops on a half-mile car chase, which marked his third arrest since October on identical charges. Whip it. Whip it good. He's a dedicated fan to Devo. It's not his problem. He just loves whippets. Who knew? I love when I crack my own self up. Because third time's a charm. Christopher Michael Pedler. Oh, that last name is why you're on whippets, isn't it? I mean, Pedler as a last name and your dentist, it's just terrible. A 39-year-old married father of three who also teaches at the University of Texas School of Dentistry was caught Saturday with 107 canisters of nitrous, a complaint filed in Harris County Deputy Court states. Now, Pedler was clocked at going 44 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone, then refused to stop for police when they tried to pull him over, making multiple turns while looking back in his mirror, said the complaint. Now, two of the nitrous canisters were extremely cold, with ice crystals formed on the exterior, suggesting recent use, according to the complaint. Now, Mo has an embarrassing story. I was a goody two-shoes. I didn't know what whippets were. I assumed whippets, when my friends were talking about them, was when you open the door real quick on the refrigerator, take a little, zhuzh of the Ready Whip before anyone sees you, and then whip the refrigerator door closed real quick. So you whip it in and out. Obviously giggity. Now, my friends were a little confused with me because I'm like, I do whippets every time my mom has it in the house. Now, what they assumed I meant and what I assumed I meant were many different things. So they're like, "Can you get us some?" And I was like, "I don't think that's hygienic. Like, we're all a family. And I don't know if you taking a little, even on your hand, I just don't know how hygienic that is." Literally what came out of my mouth because I was a little Pollyanna and not even. So I was like, I just don't think that's hygienic. I think we're all going to get germs and my mom's going to be mad if we all get mono. And those sweet girls who were there with me looked at me like I was a special kind of special because they're like, "I don't think you think or what you think is whippets are what we think are whippets." And they were not. No, I was shocked to learn that people used those really cool canisters to, get all the, intoxicated. I was scandalized. So, yeah, how to tell someone you're not cool without telling someone you're not cool. I was like, "No, I get it every time my mom has, you know, we have pumpkin pie. I totally have." On a serious note, this man is married and has three kids. And as a person who's lost someone to addiction, I hope he kicks his habit because having to love and try to co-parent with someone who is battling those kind of demons is absolutely hell. And to lose someone you love to addiction day by day, little by little, and then suddenly, it's something I wouldn't wish on anyone. When he finally gave himself up, Pedler, who is now free on bond for the possession of inhalant paraphernalia, said he had a problem and admitted he'd been inhaling all day, the complaint goes on. Now, the Harris County Constable Precinct 1 announced Pedler's arrest on social media. Defense attorney David Smith, who is representing Pedler in court, told The Independent, "Due to ongoing legal proceedings, we are unable to provide detailed comments on these allegations. Please afford the client the presumption of innocence that he and anyone accused in an offense is entitled to in America. While a law enforcement agency has decided to release statements allegedly made by our client in this matter, we trust that the legal process will work and the government's case will be tried in the court of law and not in the media." Nitrous oxide, known as laughing gas, is a mild sedative used in dentistry to manage patients' pain and anxiety. Abuse can lead to seizures, brain damage, psychosis, paralysis, and accidents involving drivers huffing nitrous have become increasingly common as the substance gains popularity with young people. Pedler was already out on bail following a November 27, 2024 incident in which a neighbor called police for a wellness check after spotting the 39-year-old parked on the side of the street in a white Chevy Suburban at 8 a.m. And upon returning home at 6 p.m., the vehicle had not moved, according to the complaint in the case. 10 hours later, it says that Pedler was still sitting there in the driver's seat with his head down, not moving. Now, during that encounter, Pedler, who was holding a nitrous container, refused to open the door or exit the SUV, but repeatedly inhaled the canister's contents as officers stood by, watching smoke-like vapors come from his mouth when he exhaled. Okie dokie. Now, the police placed Pedler under arrest, seizing 112 nitrous canisters, according to the complaint. So, is it like, I mean, I use nitrous oxide at the dentist office. I'm assuming that, you use it for all the more. I'm guessing you use it like bonkers level to get high or something. It's sad. It's sad. I hope this guy gets help. Addiction is, something that is incredibly hard to battle, and I hope he picks his kids. I hope he does. Now, this is not to shame this woman. As a person who has, been at odds with the scale my entire life, I know that, your weight is one of those issues, one of those personal weaknesses that is written on the outside. If someone does the not street legal pharmaceuticals, unless it's really deep in the addiction, you might not have signs. But if you like to eat 3 boxes of Mike and Ike's to make you feel better about your day, it's going to show on your thighs. So this is not to shame her, but from a real place of, I didn't feel good when I was heavier. And I made choices to, change things. Now, this woman wants the world to change for her, and I think that's redamn donkulous. 500-pound rapper suing Lyft over ride denial is asked for a couch over a chair at Breakfast Club interview. This is accommodation. The 500-pound rapper who is suing Lyft after she was allegedly denied a ride due to her weight requested a couch instead of a chair that had been provided when she sat down for an interview with the Breakfast Club radio show. Dank DeMoss, who has described herself as obese and a BBW, or big beautiful woman, walked into the New York City studio and sat down in a wheeled office chair before the interview started, and she immediately looked uncomfortable and let the crew know it. "This the only seat y'all got?" DeMoss, who goes by Deja Blanding, asked earnestly. Host Charlemagne, just Charlemagne, I'm not going to call you the God. Also, I'm not going to say that. THA, no. And others pulled a couch over for the Detroit native, who donned a one-piece with a cutout in the front and an orange jacket for the interview. "This is what I'm talking about. Good. This is accommodation." No, it's not. No. You are a tiny percentage of the population, and the world shouldn't have to change. Look, I have just as much right to ask everyone to not, make stairs or to, not be on my left side. I could go around being an insufferable muppet. You know, I can't have you on my left side. I need, I need low light. I can't have you talking to me. Sometimes I have hypersenses. So if you can't wear perfume, you can't wear deodorant, you know, everything makes me nauseous. No, no. Again, I don't make my personal struggles unless I really need help someone else's issues because it is my job to adapt my area around me. And I know, as a normal functioning human, that it is going to be my job to adapt myself to the best of my ability when I am out in the world. I don't expect the world to adapt to me. I don't expect the world to know that I have any issues unless I tell them. I mean, I have gotten looks when I park in my handy capable space and, there's no outside appearance of, what might be wrong with me. And, I have felt the, desire to want to yell at them or yell at the people looking at me, giving me kind of the roll eye that, come see me on my bad pain day. But again, it doesn't matter. Thank you, Zach, for that super chat. When four people have to get up for you to have a seat, you may want to consider a diet of less than a full barnyard animal a day. And that's the thing. So I started a weight loss thing and then life happened and it's one of my orphan channels. But I don't know if you guys can tell, I've been on a little bit of a kind of deflating journey, but I haven't made it my entire life. If she was truly happy with this, if she was truly happy with this, in her soul happy, then she would buy her own car that worked. And she wouldn't be complaining that everyone has to accommodate her. I don't know where we got to this idea that, we have to accommodate everyone, but there is a certain level of accommodation. And the problem with this is, and this is where people are, because I'm guessing she is going to say she is disabled. Now, this is just a guess speculation. I haven't been, I haven't been up on this woman's career. But just like Blake Lively and Amber Heard allegedly making stuff up, when you have an unseen, illness, when you have an illness that doesn't make itself very apparent, and you do want to fight for, accommodations that are reasonable. People like this, people that grift, people that, again, life choices could change your disability. Regardless of a bunch of things I do, I'm going to deal with what I deal with for the rest of my life. But I can make choices to make my life better. By losing weight, I took, some pressure off of my joints, some pressure off of, my leg, and working to be more active. But you give those of us who have invisible illness bad names because what you have right now is not a disability, it's a life choice. Let's be real. Maybe you don't butter your Pop Tart. Maybe you don't have a Pop Tart s'mores sandwich. Now, I get that not all bodies are going to be a size 4. My body at its most fitulous is probably going to still be a size 10. But could we finally go back to a country that says, hey, you're healthy as a size 14, but for you, because I care for you, because you're a fellow citizen, I want you to have the best life you can without joint problems, without heart problems, without, dying younger than your parents. So could we find a happy medium between, coddling people to death and then, the 90s super thinness? I think we can. I really think we can. I think we can, get together and find a way to figure out how to give young people healthy ideas. This woman is insufferable, though. That's what I'm talking about, accommodation. No, the world had to change around you, and that's entitlement. For choices that you make, fork to mouth is a choice. what I have, what other people didn't choose to have as actual disabilities, there's a difference. And I'm getting really tired of people who make really bad life choices, calling it a disability. It and I never really got all that upset until I was in it, until I got those looks that I'm sure, everyone has gotten if you have to have the little handy capable sticker, where maybe you're having a good day. Maybe your limp isn't as pronounced. So people give you this look like, do you even deserve to be in that spot? And it pisses me off because I know there are a bunch of people that are freaking milking the system and taking, taking resources away from people that could really use help. And again, that's where I'm going to leave it. Like I said, I have been up and down. I have hated the scale. I have loved Mike and Ike's. I am on a downward defluffing trend here lately. So I get it. I get how it is to be an emotional eater. I get how it is to look at the scale, be disgusted with yourself, and then go get some more food to comfort yourself after that. I get that in my soul. But don't make your personal struggle my issue, okay? Because I don't make my personal struggle your issue. Now, DeMoss, who has previously stated that she weighs some 489 pounds, went viral last month after she posted a video on social media showing a Lyft driver pull up in his Mercedes-Benz sedan and immediately lock his doors. I can fit in this car, she assured him. Believe me, you can't. The driver, who said his name was Ibrahim, fired back, canceling her ride. It's not only that. Does the seatbelt cover her? He can't drive unless the seatbelt is connected. Now, unless she travels with an extender, how is he going to safely say that he is legally driving? Vegan teacher is wrong on so many. Look, vegan teacher needs an 8 hour, deep dive, and I don't even know if there is enough box wine in Indiana to keep me sane during that. Vegan teacher is a weirdo. So my sons, all my boys have YouTube Kids, and I have all these different filtery things. I went through and tried to, become one with their tablets and figure this thing out. And vegan teacher showed up on one of his, kid things. And I was like, no, I took his pad away. Now, while discussing the incident with the Breakfast Club, she explained that she's had to adapt in many situations due to her weight, but doesn't understand when people are unwilling to help accommodate her. Because, sweetheart, sweetheart, come here. Mama Mo's going to tell you something. Now, sit down next to me because I don't have something nice to say, but I'm going to try to say it as kindly as I can. People don't want to accommodate you because they see this as a personal issue. They see this as a you issue, and you decided to get this way, and you should figure it out. And people also don't like the level of entitlement that you feel that you have to exert on the environment around you. In some perverse ways, your taking up space is literally you taking up space. You are forcing, the entire world to change around you. It's almost a power move. It's almost like I did this, now you have to not only praise me, call me beautiful, but also you have to change your entire, environment to accommodate me. And this is not only in normal life, this is in health. The, amount of bariatric equipment that has increased. I'm sure if you've been to the doctor's office here lately, you have seen those larger chairs without the handles. Come on, America. I know it's not easy to put the 17th box of Mike and Ike down. I have eaten all of my feelings. I still have internalized cookies, but let's try to be better. And thank you, Jude Cario. I will say I didn't get it until I got it. And I would probably have been one of those people that looked at people, thank you so much, when they got out of the car. because I didn't know about invisible diseases. So I can imagine that it's something you don't get until you get, but absolutely, I am just about done with people making, poor personal issues or choices and then looking at me to have to fix it. I'm like, y'all, I got 6 kids, 5 cats, a husband, and a semi, professional hobby. I don't know that I have any more compassion to expend on your fluffiness. And let's be real. Look, I have been called everything from fat to chonkles to, thunder thighs to whale tail to, just there she blows. It doesn't feel good, but it didn't, stop me from living. Did it hurt? Absolutely. Did it maybe make me, look in the mirror and force and face the reality that if I wanted this to change, I was going to have to do something myself? Yeah. So, look, I come from a place of I know what this chick is sort of feeling, but I have no patience. Well, if you would like to go wrangle some fish, if you would like to go earn you some money, a company is offering $45 per fish on a bounty of 27,000 escaped salmon. Go get you some salmon, you'll eat good. JKD Buck, it did, but it didn't. It made me stronger and it got me used to YouTube. you know, it just kind of rolls off. And again, maybe we need to teach kids to be resilient because you're going to hear all the things. The world is full of jerks, and you're going to have to learn if you want to give them energy or not give them energy. You're going to have to decide if they have power or they don't. And, it's a hard lesson. It's a lesson that you have to relearn every day sometimes on YouTube. But it's, again, you know, just it's not as big a deal as it can be. It is mean, but it is, again, do I want to give them power or are they just noise? A seafood company that lost about 27,000 salmon from a fish farm off the coast of Norway is offering a bounty of about $45 per fish caught. Maui or Moi, Mowi, but I know that Norway is one of the Nordic countries, so I have no idea how they would say that. And thank you so much, Wolfram, for keeping me on time because I tend to squirrel. The largest producer of farmed salmon is about a quarter of the 105,000 salmon that escaped Friday night from a fish farm in Troms had entered the waters of northern or northwest Norway. The company said the fence separating the farm from the open waters was damaged by stormy weather in the area. The company called on registered fishing professionals in the country to bring any fugitive salmon caught to designated reception centers where they will be paid about $45 a fish. Well, I was going to throw my hat in there. I've got like a fishing reel. I'm pretty sure I could catch like one or two and get a new Sailor Moon outfit. Come on now. That's racist, only letting Norwegian professional, fisher people do it. I am discriminated because I'm not invited. I'm making a lawsuit. People of Norway, be darned. You know, ignoring the fact that I hate the cold, I wouldn't get on a boat, and the probability of me fishing and landing even one of said fugitive fish is astronomical. I still feel that I am owed something. Is that how I do 2025? I don't know how to act as though I'm entitled to everything. I'm trying to learn how to do that. Now, Vegard Owen Hatton of Norwegian Directorate of Fisheries said companies are normally only allowed to conduct recapture operations within 1,640 feet of their facilities, but MAU was ordered to expand the reach of its search for the missing salmon due to the massive scale of the escape. Now, experts say that the escaped fish could pose a major risk to wild salmon in the area. They said that the escaped salmon compete for the same spawning grounds and could spread infections such as sea lice. What in the fresh nightmare horror is sea lice? We have lice of the sea? That's it. I have to stay out of the ocean. I have to stay out of everywhere. There are lice in the sea. I love that that's the thing that I get dramatic about. Like lice in the sea. Okay, I tell no lies, but as a parent who had 6 children and lice, there is nothing more terrifying. I was seriously considering shaving the girl's hair because, they were tender headed and you have to take that redonkulous little comb and then it's like, and now they have super lice, so you have to get this, like, I don't know, professional grade. I don't even know what it is. Probably like freaking MK Ultra they had left over, and then put it on there, and still you had to do it like twice to get rid of lice. When I tell you that lice is my kryptonite, like, lice is terrifying to me. It is the amount of stuff you have to do to try to get rid of it, and then if they wear another person's hat is right back, and you want to lose your ever flippin' mind. So there you go. Now my horror is your horror. I am going to let you guys go. I am going to get ready for Megan Boswell. Just a little warning, you guys. I haven't watched ahead, but I had heard that they might interview or introduce some, not so good evidence and all that today. So if you need to be on the replay crew, I totally understand. It is probably going to be a harder day to watch. But bye, you guys.